Welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be on this look right here. This is my everyday soft glam-ish makeup routine. I'm going to be showing you guys in detail, step by step, how I achieved this look. So if you guys would like to see how I did this look right here, please be sure to continue on watching. And yeah, let's just get right to it. Alright y'all, so like I said, this is going to be a very detailed tutorial. I'm going to be walking you guys through step by step of this entire routine. Okay, so first things first is skin prep. Skin prep is extremely important if you want your makeup to last throughout the day, if you want your makeup to look natural and radiant and healthy, and if you want it to look like skin, you have to take care of your skin. Good makeup starts off with good skin, always. To prep my skin, I first went in with the Dickens Witch Hazel. This is Witch Hazel. This is from the brand Dickens. You can use anything you want. Sometimes I use Witch Hazel, sometimes I use micellar water to just cleanse my face, but you want to use some type of toner or micellar water just to remove all the dirt and oil from your skin. You want to start off with a clean canvas, and then after I cleansed my face, I went in, the label came off, but this is the Pond's moisturizer. I love this. I use this on my clients. If you guys don't know, I am an MUA, but yeah, I love using this to prep the face before going in with makeup. It's like a cold press cream, so it doesn't feel too heavy on the skin when I use this, so I really like going in with this. After I applied my moisturizer, just to further hydrate my face, I went in with the Wet n Wild Rose primer water spray. It says it's a primer water, but you can use it to prep, set, and refresh. That's what it says. But I just like using this just to add some further hydration to my skin, because I'm going to be applying makeup and powders and all of that, and that can really dry out my face. And because I have oily skin, if I don't take the time to moisturize my skin will start to produce oils faster. Okay, so now that our face is nice and prepped, I usually like to let that sit for maybe about 5 to 10 minutes so that it absorbs into my skin. We can now go in with our primer. So I'm going in with the e.l.f. Power Grip primer. This has become my favorite drugstore primer. As you all know, this is like the dupe for the Milk Hydro Grip, and I really love that primer, and this gives the same effect. So I'm going to be starting off with my base first. I'm going in with the Milani Glow Hydrating Skin Tint. I really love the effect that it gives when my natural oils start coming through. It just leaves a really pretty glow on the face. So I like going in with this before going in with my foundation, and also the color of this is gonna neutralize the color of the foundation that I'm gonna put on top, which is what I need, and you'll see. So next up is foundation. I wanted to try a new foundation, so I picked up the Makeup Revolution IRL Filter Long Wear Foundation. I got the color F12. I did go in with a dense brush from Real Techniques. I really like using dense brushes like this to blend out my foundation, and then I also use my beauty blender. This one is from Shop Miss A, and it's only $1, and it's so soft and nice. I absolutely love this beauty blender, but I go back and forth between these two right here to kind of help give me a flawless blend to my foundation. So my local Walgreens only had F12 and F14. F14 was just way too dark for me, so I ended up going with F F12. As you can see, F12 is just a little too light, so I'm glad that the Milani glow underneath kind of balances out the lightness of this. This foundation is oil free and has an up to 16-hour wear. I do really like the finish of it. It's a soft matte finish, which I absolutely love. It's not too matte and it's long wearing. I really do like that. It's just the color with this is a little off. Some honorable mentions that I absolutely love from the drugstore. The NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop foundation. Absolutely love that foundation. It is long wearing, it lasts throughout the day, and the shade range is phenomenal. Like NYX does it every time with their shade range. Also the Milani Conceal and Perfect foundation and concealer, the 2-in-1, that is a great foundation as well. I haven't used it as a concealer, but I use it as a foundation. I absolutely love that one. It also lasts long, and it is a, ooh, I'm getting itchy. It is a medium to full coverage. Another foundation that I absolutely love is the Maybelline Matte and Poreless. That's like an oldie but a goodie. The foundation range is pretty great. The price point is absolutely amazing. I think it's like only like $5 or $8. It lasts long, it's matte, and it's poreless. Yeah, you can't go wrong with that one. Those are some other foundations that I love from the drugstore. So you have oily, acne prone skin like me, definitely give those foundations a try. Okay, so now that our foundation is on and nice and blended, next up is concealer, and my absolute favorite concealer from the drugstore is the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealers. They have a matte one, which is in a black bottle, but I really like the hydrating one a little bit more. I'm using the shade Light Peach, and I mixed it with a little bit of Tan Latte. I really love the finish that it gives. It's hydrating, but it's also a full, I would say it's like a medium to full coverage. You can really build these up. So after I blended out my concealer, as you all can see, I went in with my beauty blender again, and I also used my foundation brush just to blend out the edges. So after I blended out my concealer, I'm going to contour my face, contour and bronze my face, and I'm going to be doing that with the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Concealer. This one is in the shade 148. It's a really nice warm shade. These concealers, I don't know if there's deeper ones than this. At my local drugstore, this was the deepest one, but I really like how it warmed up my skin tone, and especially with my foundation being a little lighter than usual, I'm really going in heavy with this concealer. Though I do notice that it dries quickly, so you want to make sure that you're going in and blending it when you apply the product. Okay, so now that everything is blended nicely, you can stop right here, but I'm gonna go just a little bit further with my concealer. I'm gonna go in with a lighter shade just to brighten up the areas that I want a little bit brighter. So I'm going to be taking the Makeup Revolution, the IRL filter, the concealer this time. They have the foundation and this is the concealer. I'm taking the shade C7 and I'm applying it right in this area here on the peak of my cheekbones. I applied it in the center of my forehead, my nose, my chin, and my cupid's bow. And when I'm blending it tightly. So I'm taking my beauty blender. I sometimes go between my beauty blender or the Real Techniques setting brush. It just depends on how I feel, honestly. But when I'm blending, I'm keeping it concentrated right here. I'm not spreading it out. I'm keeping it exactly where I want the brightness to be. So now that we have applied the highlight and contour, now it's time to set everything in place. So I'm going to be taking the number 7 Perfect Light Loose powder. I really like how soft and velvet this powder is, and I just took that with my powder puff. I got this from Shein. It was a pack of 5 for $1, but you could find these powder puffs anywhere. And I just took a little bit on my powder puff and just pressed it into my skin to set my concealer. And then I just took a big fluffy brush and just dusted over my face to set my concealer and foundation. At this step, you don't want to go in with too much powder at all because we're going to be baking after this, so you don't need too much powder, just enough to set everything in place. I forgot to mention as well, also between each step when I'm blending and when I'm using my brushes and my tools, I do go in with the Wet n Wild Rose Water Spray. I spray my brush, I spray my beauty blender, and I also spray my sponge just so that there's a little bit of hydration when I'm going in and blending everything out. Now to set my contour, I'm going to be going in with the L'Oreal Infallible Fresh Wear Bronzer in the shade Dark. This bronzer is very, very pigmented. I was actually surprised. This is a newer product that I picked up, but I was really surprised with this bronzer. I had to blend this out a bit because I was not expecting it to be that pigmented, so go in lightly when you're using this. So after I applied my bronzer, I like to go in at this stage and apply my liquid blush. I actually don't use liquid blush at all. I use liquid lipstick. So these are the L'Oreal Macaroon liquid lipsticks. I have the shade 828 and 824. 824 is a little bit lighter, 828 is darker. I like to use 824 like right here and like right here, and then I put 828 in the middle of the both of them, and then I just blend it out. Because it's a liquid lipstick, it's already very pigmented. It's gonna dry down to like a matte finish, so I really like going in with what I already have and just using that as blush. They do sell liquid blushes at the drugstore. I know Milani has a great one, Maybelline has a couple of liquid blushes as well, Elf has great ones, but I just use what I already have and use that as blush. So yeah, you don't always have to go out and buy a certain product. You could just use what you already have and make it work. So yeah. Okay, so now that we've applied our blush, I am now going to bake. So to bake, I'm going to be using my favorite powders of all time. These are the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finishing Powders. These are my absolute favorite powders ever. I love them. I have the shade 25 medium and the shade 20 light medium. I'm going to use the shade 25 to sharpen my contour. I like this shade because it's more closer to my skin tone, and after I do that, I go in with shade number 20 and I sharpen my nose contour and also bake underneath my eyes. Number 20 is a lot lighter and I like for my under eyes to be brighter, so I go in with number 20 underneath my eyes. So I like to let this powder sit and bake on my skin while I work on my eyes. Now before we go on to shadow, I went in and did my brows. So on a normal day, I usually just use some mascara and brush them through my brows and call it a day, but I wanted to add a little bit more structure to my brows. So I went in with the Maybelline Brow Ultra Slim Pencil in deep brown, and I just took that and just created a line on the bottom and just started doing little flicks upwards to define my brow. And then I just took the end, the spoolie, and just brushed it up. And yeah, that's pretty much all I did for my brows. So now we're gonna move on to shadow. So I picked up these mini palettes right here. These are the Makeup Revolution Ultimate Nudes palette. They have a light one, a medium one, and a dark one. I picked up the light one and the dark one. We're gonna be going for like a soft glam type of eye. So first I'm gonna be going in with the dark palette. I took these two shades on the bottom right here, and I used that to connect my nose contour into my crease. So after I applied those two shades, I went back in with my bronzer and took a smaller brush and just worked that a little bit lower into my crease. So for my lid color, I went in with the light palette and I took the color in the dead center, and I just took a fluffy brush and just applied that right on my lid, and I kind of created an oval shape, almost as if we're doing a cut crease, but not really, if that makes sense. It's like we're cheating a cut crease. So I'm kind of just feeling where my eye naturally creases. So after I applied my shadow, I did go in with some liner. This is just a Wet n Wild black liner, and I just used that to line my eyes and also to tight line. And to set the liner in place, I did go back in with the bronzer and applied that on top, and it also gave like a soft smoky effect, so it's not too dark of a black, it's more of like a smoky black. And just to tie in the whole eye together, I did go back in with my bronzer and also that brown shade that we used in the dark palette and just smoked out my bottom lash line. Now it's time for lashes, and I went in with the Eyelure London, the Jasmine Brown collaboration. I really like this lash because it's a lot longer in the middle and shorter towards the ends. Those types of lashes really flatter my eye shape because I do have hooded eyes, so it really helps like make my eye look bigger, which is what I really like. Also, another lash that I really like from the drugstore, the Ardell Wispies, the Demi Wispies, you can't go wrong with them. Also, Ardell has a naked lash collection. Those are really natural, super lightweight for your eyes, for like an everyday type of look. You can't really go wrong with drugstore lashes. Honestly, you can just find whatever lash that works for you. Okay, so now that the lashes are on, we're pretty much bringing everything together. So next I'm going to be dusting off the baking powder that we applied on our face. And to do that, I'm going to be taking my favorite face powder from the drugstore. This is the L'Oreal Infallible Wear face powder. I absolutely love the finish of this face powder. I used to use the Maybelline Fit Me. That's another great powder as well, but this one kind of just stole my heart. It's so soft and airbrush like. I absolutely love the finish that this powder gives. So now I'm just going to be applying the finishing touches and just bringing the look together. I'm going to be going in with this powder blush right here. This is the Makeup Revolution blusher Reloaded blush in Pink Lady, and I'm just using that and applying it over where we applied the liquid blush just to intensify it and bring it back to life. So I'm so sorry you guys, the rest of the video clips lost audio, so I'm just going to be finishing this up voiceover style. So we're just moving on to the lips. I cleaned off the residue on my lips with a makeup wipe, and now I'm taking the Jordana eyeliner pencil in black. They used to sell Jordana at the drugstore, but I think they went out of business, so you could just use any eyeliner from the drugstore. The Wet n Wild one is perfectly fine. And now I'm going in with my lipstick. This is the Milani lipstick in the shade Tease. I really like Milani's lipsticks a lot, and also L'Oreal has a great formula as well. So after I apply the lip color, I'm just going to go in with the Wet n Wild eyeliner in the shade Brown just to neutralize the black eyeliner that we used so that it's not too cool toned. So after I lined it, I am going to go in with my gloss. I didn't show it, but you guys should already know I talk about this gloss all the time. This is the Maybelline Lifter Gloss in the shade 07, and my other favorite gloss from the drugstore are the NYX Butter Glosses. Those are amazing as well. But this is the final look for the lips. And now, just to set everything, I'm going in with the Makeup Revolution hydrating spray, and I sprayed this on my face first just to melt all the powders into my skin to help make it look flawless and look like skin. And then I just went back in with my beauty blender and just set that into my face. And then after everything is dried down, I just go back in and do any last minute touches, touch up what I feel like needs to be touched up, whether it's my shadow or adding more blush. Sometimes when you're blending, you tend to lose some intensity. So I'm just making sure everything looks how I want it to look. So I felt like my under eyes needed to be a little bit more brighter. So I just went in with the L'Oreal Infallible Wear powder again, but this one is in a lighter shade, in the shade Vanilla, and I just took that with my powder puff and applied that right underneath my eyes. It's gonna look crazy at first, but once you blend it out, it just brings everything together, and it really also helps bring in the nose contour as well. So as a not spray as a final set, I went in with the e.l.f. blue light setting spray, and I just went in and sprayed that all over my face as a final setting spray. So after I set my face, I now go in with my mascara just so that nothing smudges when I'm spraying my setting spray. I went in with the e.l.f. Mood mascara, and this is the final look. Alright y'all, so this is the final look, everything done. I hope you all enjoyed this very detailed, everyday, soft glam-ish tutorial. But yeah, this is the final look. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you guys found it helpful, please let me know in the comment section down below. I love you all so much. Thank you guys for rocking with me on today's video, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, I will see you all in the next video. Peace.